Let's speak to Angel Carbonu. He teaches at a senior high school, and he's president of the National Association of Graduate Teachers. Angel, you're welcome to Eyewitness News. Before I ask you your response to the issue of the school in Kumasi that we're going to talk about, what's your reaction to the headmaster's view or comments a short while ago?
Well, by and large, he's spoken the truth. He's spoken to facts. Albeit the use of very gentle language in attempt not to offend any people, any person. He was not robust. Very calm language, which is necessary for his office. But the facts are the facts. I may not be that gentle in my responses to you. I can assure you that.
I do know you. You are the radical one. Let's talk about the GES says it's going to introduce a Dean for Discipline to deal with matters of indiscipline in senior high schools. As an association of teachers, what do you make of that?
And where will the Dean be located? Where will he be cited? Will he be at the GES headquarters? Or we are going to have deans in the 10 regions and in the 270-something districts? Or are we going to have a single dean? I don't know how that is going to work out. Number two, does that mean that any infraction in the school will have to be referred to the dean? I think that the schools, from the time of the Godgesberg to today, have been able to handle discipline and have exonerated themselves very well in the handling of discipline. And you and I know certain schools. I don't know whether Tema Secondary School will be part of it, but you and I know certain schools in this country that are known to be very disciplined, and that authorities in those schools do not tolerate infractions to school rules and regulations. And I can mention some to you. What is broken the resolve of the Ghanaian teacher and school management in the handling of discipline in our schools is the incessant and wanton interference in how schools handle discipline in this country. On and on and on, new rules and regulations, new restrictions, certain restrictions imported from strange land, sometimes just because there is a seminar sponsored by some unknown and some obscure NGO somewhere, importing the ways and manner they understand disciplining a child in their country into this country. And because of that pittance, some of which are very miserable and insulting, we run awry to change our rules and regulations, and we tie the hands of our teachers in such a manner that it becomes even very difficult to discipline students in the schools. So the students do whatever they like. The recent upset in school riots and the destruction of school properties and so on and so forth was nib in the bud for a very, very long time. When we were in school, it was a very regular occurrence. Today, it is where its ugly head once again, because that resolve to nip in the bud misbehavior and incorrigible acts by students is broken. The students do not fear their teachers. Oh, they say, you see, when you do that, it is going to cause psychological trauma. A whole pack of nonsense is brought onto the table just because some Caucasian is donated 10,000 for a seminar in a certain hotel somewhere. New policies are made. So we've gotten to where we find ourselves.
So teachers be allowed to hold canes and walk on compounds and lash students at will?
It is not. You see, when you put it that way, we dilute the issue. Do teachers hold canes and whip students at will? Was that what it used to be when we were in school? That is absolutely not what it was. That teachers were whipping students at will. No.
There were a number of students, I remember, in basic school who were whipped until they went to the hospital. I mean, that happens because the teachers, there were special teachers on school campuses who give special lashes. I mean, that is
very stubborn students like Angel Carbonu in the school those days who needed very hard-handed teachers to bring him and tune him to become a fine gentleman that he is today.
Is that not what the GS is planning to do then, to bring that back by using the Dean of Discipline, who may not be necessarily going to encourage lashing, but maybe deploy other means of punishment?
I am not zeroing discipline, or I'm not limiting the scope of discipline to lashing. I'm talking about holistic discipline, creating a discipline culture in the school, an atmosphere understood by both teachers and students, that in this school, you cannot misbehave. Look, once upon a time, there were certain students who went to town, came back to the school, they wanted to go and enter the examination hall to write the exam. The authorities refused. They were refused. They moved from that place straight to a certain radio station. And then you have media men and women showing so much sympathy and emotion. Next time, you're going to have it taking place in another school. And I don't know why we do this. Always, the children. You think teachers, we don't have children?
So let me understand you. Are you, in principle, agreeing with the dean, but you are looking at the deployment of how the dean, as in the practical challenges with having a dean for discipline, or you're saying simply there should be no dean for discipline in the GS?
Discipline. Look, we have code of conduct. Let us develop the code of conduct for students. The students should sign on to the code of conduct when they are coming to school. The students and their parents should sign on to the code of conduct when they are coming to school. And if I am a headmaster of that school, the first social studies examination in the school will be based on the school code of conduct, so that every student in that school understands the parameters of operation and the consequences of their actions and inaction. Now, when you sign on to the code of conduct, we know sanctions. For example, when a student is caught smoking marijuana in school, you can't come and tell me that the guy is caught smoking marijuana, but because the feature of education is important, let's allow the guy is a Rasta man, it is his religion and it is culture and so on and so forth. There should be rules and regulations that should bind everybody in the school, and we should adhere strictly to those rules and regulations. Look, the school that I attended, which is one of the best schools in this country, in the time that I was in the school, when you are caught in town and you are in town without permission, you are made a day student. You are made a day student. Your right of education is not taken from you, but you have indicated to authorities that you are not worthy to remain in the boarding house. And students knew this. So they themselves know the consequences. They knew the consequences of their acts and their inaction. So let's know the rules. Let's know the parameters within which teachers and school management will operate. Leave the discipline. Look, we've had cases in this country when going to discipline students, we have chiefs and queen mothers coming to intervene and beg and so. And when teachers stuck to their guns, they told the teachers that they are not worthy to remain in those traditional communities. We've had that in this country before. Okay? So these are some of the reasons why we are seeing what we are seeing.
So bring back the cane.
Bring back discipline. If the cane is just a small part of discipline in schools.
But leave it in the hands of school administrators and teachers.
Yes, but before you come to, so what's the name? Before you come to the dean, by the time you go and come and talk to the dean for the dean to tell you he's coming or he's not coming, by the time you realize things have gone awry.
Thank you for speaking to us, Angel.
Thank you.
Angel Carbonu is president of the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT.